Hey guys, my name is Meeix, and today we will take a look at how the Group C winners Dignitas played a perfect Magisters Terrace in the last weekend of the MDI, where they beat out Team Liquid. Since progression is locked behind killing this pack, they need to deal with that first, but I promise you, this is the only normal pull in this dungeon you're going to see. While Kira charges ahead to gather a big pull onto the blazing pyromancer that awaits the team in the library, the damage dealers make sure they utilize anti-magic shell, spell reflect, and aspect of the turtle to not take any avoidable damage from the arcane bolts of the arcane magisters. AJ helps out by tagging the blazing pyromancer so they don't need to waste time pathing through the bookshelves, and instead they use the cubby in front of the vigilant librarian that blocks the path. Once the pyromancer is dead and the path is clear, Team Dignitas wastes no time and Kira charges forward into the boss arena of Arcanatron Custos. There, they're tagging in all the bright scale worms, the sentry, the pyromancer pack on the right side, as well as the boss itself. This is where we see them utilize Bloodlust with their offensive cooldowns together with the bright scale worms' energy infusion, which multiplies their damage for 1% per stack that they gather. They also use their own defensive cooldowns here to help AJ deal with the ignition from the blazing pyromancers, especially as the arcane beam from the sentry targets individual players too, while also, of course, dealing with the boss mechanics at the same time. Death Coil and Crackling Jade Lighting are used on the bright scale worms by Jack and AJ to help Kira not waste any time as they're gathering their next pack after having killed the boss. To do so, Kira uses Stampeding Roar and Incapacitating Roar to speed up his team and allow them to walk up to the end of the gauntlet before the Light Ward healers start casting and causing chaos. Additionally, they use Paralysis from AJ as well as Chains of Ice to delay the healers joining the pull even further. While this happens, Hearthjax also drains 2 of the energy crystals that are hidden on the side of this gauntlet to immediately reach 20 stacks of energy infusion, to do a lot of damage right at the start of the pull. This group of enemies is particularly evil because of the rune spellbreakers who cast Runic Glaive, which is an uninterruptible cast that always hits 2 players and deals a lot of damage over a 10-second time window. With 3 of those spellbreakers in the pack, every way to counteract them is crucial, and so Team Dignitas uses their Shadow Meld to avoid any application of any double stack here. Pressing Meld late also assures less casts overall as they move through this pack. The bright scale worms finally join towards the end of the pull as the team has ran out of cooldowns, and with another stack of energy infusion across the entire team, it helps them finish off the pull. Once the team has pulled Serenal Sunlash, the healers that were CC'd earlier finally join the team to add additional cleave and an easy way to get count. Another niche optimization on the Death Knight is shown off by Hearthjax as he sees he's targeted by the runic mark and pre-AMSs to avoid the application and allowing his healer to do even more damage. Now comes the hardest part of the dungeon. With Stampeding Roar activated, Team Dignitas is going to charge ahead and take everything in their path into the Gemellus boss room. They don't have Bloodlust or Energy Infusion available for this, so they're relying on their raw offensive cooldowns to get them through this pack. Notable enemies in here are the Void Terrors who cast Terror Wave, which will fear the entire team if it isn't interrupted, as well as the 2 Shadowrift Void Callers who cast Consuming Shadows, which takes heavily on the team, and which the team uses defensive cooldowns for. On top of that, the dreadful Void Walker constantly casts Shadow Bolts, and since the team is focused on keeping the Terror Waves under control, not many options to interrupt these are available. While all of this is happening, the Devouring Tyrant also applies a huge Absorb Shield to Kira every single time it casts Devouring Strike. The Tyrant and the Void Caller that stand next to the boss spawn need to be killed off as quickly as possible to allow the team to spawn Gemellus. That is why they focus them down, and while the RP for this boss spawn happens, they finish off most of the pack and then add the remaining Void Terror and Dreadful Void Walker pack that stands to the left side of the room into the boss fight. Once Gemellus and his Gemelli are dead, the team floors it once more for the final 19% trash count of the dungeon. Kira charges ahead, grabbing everything in his path, while the rest of the team follows, making sure not to add any additional packs that stand to the side of the pathway. This poll features 4 Void Terrors, which will need to stay interrupted once more, but can be lined of sight while they're being gathered. This gives the team some breathing room until they recast. Additionally, there's a Tyrant Voidcaller combination on this pack as well that requires defensive cooldowns as well as good coordination between healer and tank. Together with clean execution on the interrupts, of course. As soon as that Voidcaller has died off, Team Dignitas wastes no time to make way to the Gentris, letting the enemies trail behind them. The Hollow Soul Shredders use their Dimensional Shred to immediately follow up, whereas the Void Terrors move a bit slower, once again allowing the team to let their cast go off without needing to allocate resources for it. Once the Tyrant has died, the team makes short work of the Gentris after reaching 100% count, and in a super fast, deathless 12 minute 11 seconds Magisters Terrace, they win out the series. Make sure to tune in next weekend to watch the CN teams and see which team will join Dignitas and our other 5 qualified teams in the Season 1 finals to fight for a chance to play at BlizzCon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Azeroth.